This girl trusts her best friend for over 10 years, but discovers a painful secret instead. So this girl, her name is Farida. Farida has a best friend named Miriam. Miriam is the kind of person you pray not to be too close to in your life, because what started as an innocent friendship almost turned into something poisonous. Farida is a Lagos babe in her late 20s. She is reserved, family-oriented, and loyal to the core. She doesn't make too much friends, and the few ones she gets, she holds them very tight. That's why when she met Miriam years back during NYSC camp, it felt like God has finally sent her the sister she never had. Now in the camp, with all the stress, Farida always kept to herself. She went everywhere alone, and that's when she met Miriam. Miriam looked so fragile, like she couldn't take the stress from the multiple activities. The first day they met, they laughed at the kind of food they were served in the camp. From there, they became inseparable. They shared bunk, queued together for food, joined the same parade group, even sneaked out to buy Indomie and Coke when the camp food was too horrible. If you saw Farida, you saw Miriam. People even started calling them twins, and for Farida, who never really had the kind of relationship, it felt like a jackpot. But you know how this gist can change now, because not long after, the difference starts showing. One evening after light out, when everyone was lying on their bunk, gossiping in low voice, Miriam suddenly looks at Farida and said, "Your skin is so dark, oh. It never takes light, it will just disappear." The whole room burst out laughing. Farida forced a smile, even joined the laughter, but instead, inside, she feels hurt. One day, Miriam told her that she is too pretty for a dark girl, but she brushes it off and tells herself Miriam is just joking. What Farida didn't know was that Miriam doesn't care. She would say anything without caring about its effect. Then the comparison started. Miriam lost her mother young and grew up with relatives. Farida still has both parents, a close-knit family that always looked out for her. Miriam would sigh and say, "You are lucky, Sha. You have mommy and daddy. Some of us don't have the kind of privilege." At first, it sounded innocent, but after a while, it became clear her word carries envy. Camp ended, life moved on. They kept in touch for a while. They gradually drifted apart, as life often does. But years later, Farida was already married to this guy they met in camp, and then Miriam moved into Farida's neighborhood after she got a new job. They were so happy to finally be living together. Imagine meeting your old camp best friend again. They reconnected easily and quickly. They are mostly in each other's houses and gisting a lot. Farida thought maybe her friend was different, until they were seated side by side at a wedding, and they were in such a joyful mood, eating with loud music everywhere. Out of nowhere, Miriam turns to Farida and tells her that her husband is such a gentleman. She tells her that she should have married him when she had the chance to. Then she laughed like it was just an harmless joke. Farida didn't smile about it. She didn't think it was nice to say that at all. That was not the kind of joke you throw at a friend, especially not about her husband. But Miriam said it boldly without thinking twice. Farida managed to laugh it off, but that day she told herself something is not right. Then this happens a month later. One night, Farida was scrolling Instagram absent-mindedly. A mutual friend had posted a story from a luxury event. In the middle of it all was Miriam, dressed in a glittering gown, cutting ribbon for skincare brand launch. Farida blinked in shock. Skincare brand launch party. She hadn't heard a single word about it. This same Miriam she saw every other week had never mentioned a thing. That discovery cut deep, because when you call someone your close friend and they hide their big wins from you, it says plenty. Yes, it does. It says they don't see you as safe. It says they're not rooting for you the way you think. Still, Farida tried to hold the friendship together. She didn't want to believe that 10 years of bond was useless. But the signs were screaming louder. Every time she shared a little win, Miriam would water it down. Like the time Farida got promoted at work and told her, Miriam just chuckled and said, "Is that all? My husband's driver earned more than that." Or when Farida mentioned completing a project, Miriam immediately turned the gist back to herself. "That reminds me of when I closed a ₦1 million deal." By the end of the conversation, Farida's joy always felt like dust. Gradually, the weight becomes heavier. Farida starts to feel like she was pouring water into a basket. She's always giving but never receiving. But loneliness is a strong thing. She kept thinking, if I let Miriam go, Who do I have left? What do I have left? Who do I gist with when things happen? The fear of emptiness held her back. Then came the final straw. One random Saturday afternoon at a friend's hangout party, the room was buzzing with laughter, music, and gist. Farida stepped outside to pick a call from her mom. When she returned, just as she reached the door, she heard Miriam's voice loud and clear over the chatter. I don't like telling Farida things because she would just envy me. Those words hit her like a thunderbolt. Farida froze at the door. Her heart was pounding. Envy? She, Farida, the same person who always celebrated Miriam with pure heart, the same person who never once begrudged a flashy life or a wealthy husband. She stood there, hands on the doorknob, breathing slowly. For a moment, she thought of storming in, confronting her, and letting the whole room know what Miriam had just said. But instead, she took a deep breath, composed herself, and walked back in with a smile plastered on her face. Go, girl. Pretending she hadn't heard a thing. From that day, Farida made a decision. No shouting match, no messy breakup, just quiet boundary. She kept the friendship shallow, just casual laughter, small gist, nothing deep. She never shared anything about her real life, her dreams, or her struggles with Miriam again. She smiled when they met, picked her phone calls when she could, but her heart was guarded. Miriam, of course, didn't notice because she didn't care. She still thought everything was normal, but Farida knew better because sometimes friendship don't expire with a fight or a visible end. Sometimes they just fade quietly until you accept that they are gone. And that's how, guys, Farida grew wiser and she realized that not every friend deserves full access to your life. Some people are just companions for the road, not guardians of your secrets. She still greets Miriam warmly and still shows up occasionally, but her joy, her family, her future, those are off the limits. So if you're listening to this gist and you have that one friend who always belittles you, who competes instead of clapping for you, who hides their life while poking holes in yours, shine your eyes. Friendships should lift you, not drain you. Guard your peace because not every bestie is truly your friend. So, leave that bestie today if you have one. Have a great day, guys.